We want to welcome you back to Culture Central. Alongside Mitchell Brown, I'm your host, GiGi Jones. We've got another great episode for you guys today.
It's that time of the year again, folks. The holiday season is approaching, the plates are being made, and Mariah Carey is back outside as the Queen of Christmas.
All right, Mitchell, slow down. I'm a Christmas girly too, but Mariah's got to wait just 1 minute. Before we get into the Christmas spirit, we have a couple things to get into. So with that being said, what's the word?
So we do have to address the elephant in the room. We do have to talk to you about election, but I want to take it in a different light. You know, we can talk about the outcomes, what could have happened, what couldn't happen, but let's look at it with the voter turnout, because we've seen a lot of new people register to vote, especially in Centre County, because Centre County has seen a mass surge in registered voters for this election. And I think it's really great to see that people, especially our age, are making sure that their voices are heard. I know that there was a lot of people that I know that were telling people, make sure you're registered to vote, make sure you get out, have your voice heard at the polls. So overall, I'm really happy that people our age are taking it very seriously and they're having their voices heard by going to vote.
Definitely. I completely agree with that. As someone that's not originally from the Centre County area, I chose to register here. I wanted to get that in-person voting experience for my first time, and I don't regret it. The lines were long, people showed out, and they made their voices heard. You know, we have a civic duty, regardless of which side you fall on, and we all have to, get out and vote every 4 years, every 2 years. So I was really happy to see the voter turnout and see young people, like we said, have their voices heard. But, speaking of voices, speaking of music, the resident music man himself, I unfortunately have to turn it over to a slightly sadder note, the death of Quincy Jones. A music legend, a producing legend, passed unfortunately at the age of 91. Not only do we send our condolences to his family, but we have to talk about the legendary career he had, from working with Sinatra to Michael Jackson to being a Grammy winner and Academy winner to being considered one of the most legendary jazz musicians by Time magazine. The list of what he has done and the backbone he has created for music is unstoppable. So like I said, our resident music man, how do you feel? What's the impact of his life?
It's a very big impact, especially on music. The man had 28 Grammy wins. That's number 3 all time. Like, you don't get that many wins from the Academy by just not being great. And you can see with the names that you said, like, he's worked with the best of the best. He even was a producer for We Are the World. There's a countless number of songs and just great compositions that he put together in order to have the music industry feel something. And you can see his influence still rub off on a lot of people today, like her, Victoria Monet. Like, his influence in the music industry is going to be heard for a long time, and he definitely will be missed. And his legacy will never be forgotten because there are people around that are going to carry it alive. Now, continuing with a lot of music information, we got to talk about Young Thug.
We have to.
Because Young Thug home now. I might need an album out of him, but he's home.
Mariah the Scientist is happy.
Oh, she been happy. she been happy for a minute.
They are on the phone. They are. She is happy that he is home for sure.
I mean, yeah. I mean, the man was in custody since May 2022.
Ooh. I believe this is like one of the longest RICO trial cases, if not the longest, in Georgia history.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's actually crazy. I mean, going from 120 years behind bars to 15 years of probation, and you still can leave the country, you can still make music. You have to go to ATL 4 times a year to give a presentation, teach the people against gang violence. But I don't know if I've ever heard anyone get off like that.
Yeah, no. Shout out to his lawyer.
Shout out.
Shout out to the lawyer.
They were working. I was on TikTok, and that man was working. But speaking of people that work hard, I'm going to transition a little bit to Kai Cenat and his thon of streaming. Yeah. Crazy. 30 days? Is it 30 days?
Yeah, whole month.
30 days of straight streaming, kind of revolutionary, very different than some of the media we've seen in the past. He's got people like Kim K, Lil Uzi Vert, Kodak Black helping uplift this performance, I think is the correct word. And then on top of that, he's donating 20% of the proceeds to build a school in Nigeria. Yeah. I know you're tapped a little bit into the streaming game. What do you think about this?
No, Kai, he's definitely one of the biggest influencers in the world right now. And it's amazing to see that he's using his platform for good and for change. Right. Not a lot of people use their platform to give back to the community. So for him to do what he's doing, but to make sure that he's giving back, especially to build a school in Nigeria, that's a really big deal. And I'm really proud of him, even though it's kind of crazy for me to say I'm proud of him, but I don't know him
Right.
like that. But it's really nice to see, and he's using his platform for a positive change. And I just hope others can follow in his footsteps with that as well.
Definitely.
But getting colder a little
It's
bit.
a little chilly.
It's approaching. As I said in the intro, the plates are being made.
The plates are being made.
So I want to ask you, with Thanksgiving right around the corner, what is going to be on your plate, and what are your favorites of Thanksgiving?
I might have to pull an Avery shout out to our fellow broadcaster. Is this camera on me? I don't even have to say, give me my graphic, because it's right here. Have y'all ever had a honey baked ham? The silence is loud. Have a honey baked ham. This is not your mother's ham. A juicy, decadent, crusted, delicious, savory ham is going to fill all your Thanksgiving needs. This might be an ad. I don't know. But when I tell you, every November when it rolls around, I pull out my plate. I say, Mom, I know you bought it. And she pulls out that honey baked ham. I love a honey baked ham. And it might sound strange that I'm talking so passionately about a ham.
No, do you?
But have you had the ham? And if you haven't, tap in. There's locations across America. Have that ham. But I'm going to keep it going. And, some people say home cooked meals versus not. It's still good. But give me my next graphic. A Patty LaBelle pie. Come on now. With a
That's
little
the
whipped
goal.
cream on top. People don't give love to desserts anymore. And, as someone who, I love my plate, I'd be lying if I said I don't fill it to the brim. My jeans were a little tight last year, but no one gives love to the desserts anymore. And Patty LaBelle, not only can she sing, not only can she make you feel something in your soul, but she can make you feel something in your stomach. The pie is magnificent, y'all. I love it. And we don't have a graphic for this, but special shout out to my Nene and her collard greens with the ham hock in it. Yes, you better believe it. Listen, I'm so excited if you couldn't tell. It's just around the corner. I'm ready to go home. But before we do, I got to let you shine. What are your Thanksgiving favorites?
Before I start, shout out the energy.
Shout
out the energy. I don't know how I'm gonna top that up, but we gonna try.
Maybe I'm a little hungry. I don't know.
But we gonna try the best. Listen here, people. Let me get that graphic real quick. Now, when you think of Thanksgiving, I want you to think of one solid thing. This is not even a side no more. I come over to the plate looking for this. All I need is mac and cheese. This is the real MVP right here.
You're
all right?
the real MVP.
I don't need nothing else. The turkey, shout out the turkey. You did your job for the last, some years. Mac and cheese job now. That's all I'm gonna say. Now let me get my next one. Let me get this camera right here. Listen, right? Let me tell y'all something about yams. Show me the way, because I have some bills to pay. This is what you need on the plate, all right? This is what you need on the plate. Give me a whole side of yams, bro. I need it all.
Okay, I have a question. Do you put marshmallows on your yams?
Shout out to anybody who does.
Okay.
That's just not me personally.
Okay, I don't really need the marshmallows
That's not
either.
me personally.
I don't need them. I can appreciate them. It gets a little too desserty for me. But respect to the yams.
Shout out to the yams.
Shout out to the yams.
Mac and cheese and yams, locked in. That's twins for real. That's twin. That's twin them. That's twin them. That's twin of them.
Well, with that being said, we are clearly both a little hungry. We might need to go home and make a pre-Thanksgiving meal after this. That is it for What's the Word. Now we're going to take a look at my lovely co-host, Mitchell, who had a conversation with Zion Sykes, president of the University Park Undergraduate Association, which is Penn State's student government.
Since being founded in 2006, the University Park Undergraduate Association has been dedicated to advocating for the entire student body of Penn State's campus. Today, I have the pleasure of sitting down and talking with the current UPUA President, Zion Sykes. Zion, thank you again for taking the time to talk with us.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Of course, of course. Now, to start off, just to get a little bit of a background, what led you to initially getting involved with UPUA, and how did that progress into a presidential campaign?
Yeah, so I got involved with UPUA kind of unknowingly, weirdly enough. I joined a collaboration between UPUA and Student Affairs, which was called the Student Advisory Board on Student Poverty. Having come from like a background where I had dealt with some of these issues myself, I thought, it'd be a really good way for me to try and pay it forward to the next person who's coming into Penn State, who may be coming from a background that I came from, and just make it a little bit easier than it was for me. And over time, that really kind of led to me getting into the actual UPUA assembly in my sophomore year, so the 17th assembly. I did a couple things there. I went the next year, was like the chair of a committee, and then last year I decided, why not run for president? And I did that because I felt like the role of president, there's so many different avenues and things that you're able to push for. You have such an impactful role. I feel very honored to have that right now. I'm able to be in these rooms with, a variety of people. President Ben DePuty, the trustees, tomorrow morning we're having meetings, talking with the alumni council, hearing from people who want to advance different actions and proposals. It's such an amazing and multifaceted role that I felt that I just needed to try and push myself to do that in order to get to that next level of advocacy.
And I appreciate how you pushed yourself to be in these spaces. You can consider yourself to be a trailblazer in that sense. And you are actually the first Black student president elected as the president of the student body since 2010 with Christian Ragland. It's almost 15 years. That's a really big deal. And knowing that, how does that make you feel? And how do you hope that inspires other students of color to get involved in UPUA as well?
Yeah, someone told me that when I initially won, and I was like, really? I was shocked. Like, I would have thought it wouldn't have been that long of a gap, honestly. But I think it makes me reflect kind of on all the work that is to be done, all the work that has come in the past. I've actually had the chance to meet some other Black student body presidents from when it was USG. Funnily enough, they also went to my high school, both of them. There was a really cool little connection there. But I think that it just speaks to, the kind of area we find ourselves in within State College, the makeup of the student body. 6% are students that are Black. And to be that face, I guess, in a sense, it's something that is not lost on me. I really appreciate the power that it has with that. And I hope that anyone who comes from, anyone that is Black, that comes from a background similar to mine, that has gone through struggle, that has known a rough ride, can recognize that they can do whatever they want, and they just got to put their mind to it, and it'll happen.
And that's lovely to hear. And considering all of this, the final question that I have for you, at the end of your term, if you want people to remember your presidency in one word, what would it be?
Heard. I hope that people feel that they were heard through my actions.
That's the best answer that you could have ever said. Wow. No, but from all of us at Culture Central, thank you so much for everything that you do, and we appreciate you. We want to give you your flowers because it's not so often. Like you said, you're the first Black president of the student body in 15 years. So to be in this position and you're doing it well and you're showing others on campus that it's possible to make things happen. So I want to say from all of us, thank you for taking the time to talk with us, and we wish you the best of luck on the rest of your presidency.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thanks again, Zion, for speaking with us. We love getting to speak with the voices of Penn State students. Next, our guy Hugh took to the streets to ask students how they feel about Tyler, the Creator's new album, Chromakopia.
It's been a week since Tyler, the Creator, has released his new album, Chromakopia. For some people, it's been a fan favorite. For some people, it's also been a little bit different from what they were expecting. My name is Hugh Kibera, and I'm with Culture Central here today at the Hub, trying to see how Penn State students feel about it. Let's go. First off the bat, it's been following a week release since Chromakopia. How do you feel that it was released on a Monday morning at 6 a.m.? Did you stay up? Did you wake up early?
I def pulled an all-nighter. I was here in the Hub, listening to it at 6 a.m. on the dot. Not gonna lie, my brain wasn't really there because I was doing homework, but I listened to it the whole week after. Love it. I feel like it being released on a Monday was just perfect because when albums get released on Friday at like midnight, like nobody's trying to listen to that. Half the time we're already outside, like, so it was nice.
I'm not gonna lie, I did fall asleep because I still had class that morning next day. But honestly, I think it was a good move because, people be in class and all that, and they be a bit bored. So now they got something to listen to during that time. I think it was a bold but smart move.
Hell no, I went to sleep.
No, I did not have time for that. I just listened to it when I woke up. Yeah, for classes. Yeah.
I got you. And what would you both say is your number one track on the album, and why?
Probably Saint Chroma or Sticky. Sticky, I wasn't expecting Glorilla and then Sexy Red, and I was like, oh, that came out the blue.
Sticky for me too, and then probably Judge Judy.
My favorites were Sticky and Tomorrow.
And why is that?
Sticky is just really upbeat, really fun. All the features, obviously, love that. And then Tomorrow is kind of more chill. That's normally my typical vibe. I like with Tyler, I like his like more chill songs, but Sticky's a good party song.
I'm gonna have to say Like Him, not gonna lie. Cause like at first I thought it was Dead, cause like that was just a lot. But Like Him, it's like saying like that's like the part 2 of like Answer, you know, cause the whole Tyler, his dad and all that. But honestly, the song really just speaks a whole lot of resonance, even more than just like family issues.
Balloon. Just because of how fun it is. Like, I understand the entire nature of the album and all of that stuff, and I love Like Him and all the other songs, but Balloon is just Doechii. I don't know, that touch, just everything about it. It's just so fun.
And in comparison to his older albums, how do you feel Chromakopia has either evolved his music? Has it stayed the same in regards to other albums? What's your opinion?
So I've been a Tyler the Creator fan since Goblin, so yeah. So I just love seeing how he's transitioned as an artist, grown in his craft and things like that. I think now that it is really him, especially Chromakopia, him trying to speak more to his Black audience. In the earlier days, he was really popular in predominantly white spaces, so I think he's trying to prove that he's a versatile artist in all spaces.
I think this specific album catered more to his Black fans, in my opinion. I think it's a lot easier for us to relate to this album. I think there are a lot of aspects of it that go along more with Black culture. So I personally really enjoyed this album a lot more than his other ones. It's definitely different than his other music for sure. I think that's why I liked it so much.
I think that it's evolved. I think that he's gotten a lot more comfortable with who he is as an artist, and I think you can definitely hear that when it progresses through the albums throughout the year. So I just think that it's a really good album. It's not my favorite, but I think that you can just tell he's a lot more confident in himself as an artist.
So if you could describe this album in 3 words, what would it be?
Black, rhythm, what's the other word? Hype, I would say, those 3.
Okay, Opium. I know that's so crazy. But like, what is it called? Phantasmic and unique.
A fantastic experience.
Dang, that's kind of hard. Shocking, because of all the features. Good. Yeah, I only have 2. Shocking and good.
As you heard from Penn State students, Chromakopia has a lot of good reviews, which does make sense seeing as it is #1 on the Billboard. I personally love Chromakopia. I would say my top 2 songs are Darling I and Like Him. I think Tyler does a very good job at maintaining a very distinct flow with his albums, even though a few of them are different from the others. I would love if you guys would drop a comment below and state what your top 2 tracks are on the album, and also how you felt about the album in general. My name is Hugh Kibera with Culture Central, and we'll see you next time.
I have to say I do agree, but that's a wrap for today. Thanks for watching, and be on the lookout for more great content.
Get some good food in the upcoming weeks, and be sure to spend some quality time with your fam. As always, I'm Mitchell Brown.
And I'm GiGi Jones. For the culture,
We are Culture Central.